The back squat in Olympic weightlifting is one of the most exciting lifts to see. The speed, vertical body position and huge weights these elites move is something to watch. By performing the back squat in this way allows for greater carryover to the competition lifts, the snatch and clean and jerk. But what if you can't squat very deep, or better yet, do you need a deep squat to learn weightlifting? Let's take a deep dive into what's actually going on with the deep squat in Olympic weightlifting. If you have seen any weightlifting content online, you'll know that a deep squat is a defining feature of weightlifting. Having a deep squat isn't a prerequisite for learning weightlifting, and neither does it stop you from achieving the benefits of becoming more powerful and explosive. In the same way, having a very strong squat does not make you great at weightlifting, as we're looking to convert that strength to usable speed and power. A deep squat gives you more time to get under the weight. The reason why we see the deep squat in the snatch and clean should be common sense: efficiency. We want to drive and propel the bar up as high as possible and receive it in the lowest possible position. The deep squat in the snatch and clean gives us additional time to get under the barbell. As the weight gets heavier, it becomes more difficult to drive the bar fast, and as a result, the height on the bar is reduced. Falling into an overhead squat or a front squat gives you that extra time needed to receive heavier weights. Typically, most lifters can full snatch and full clean at least 15% more than their power lifts. This means that if you can snatch 100 kilos, you can at least power snatch 85. At an elite level, weightlifters are extremely explosive with such a high technical proficiency for the lifts that they're able to full snatch and full clean significantly more weights than their powers. Combine this with the deep squat and the results are very, very heavy weights. Receiving a heavy weight also gives you the opportunity to save a heavy weight. Being able to have control overhead and sit with a heavy weight is something all weightlifters are capable of doing. Going low in a squat is not the same as rounding your back. You need to learn the difference. At first, you might relax and round your back in order to get lower. This could be due to mobility restrictions, your technique, or your lack of bracing. There are many reasons why this might happen, and sometimes it can take time to develop a good squat position without rounding your back or relaxing your core. If you cannot achieve full depth, it isn't the end of the road for your weightlifting training. In fact, a number of athletes from track and field and sports players will practice the snatch and clean as power variations only. Removing the deep squat is shown to be highly effective as a way of improving power production in these athletes. If you are taking the deep squat out of the weightlifting main lifts for whatever reason, there are a number of exercises from power variations and block movements to generate power and develop your skills with the barbell. There seems to be a misunderstanding that power variations are not as effective or considered cheating compared to the full lifts. They are just as athletic and often require more force to drive the bar up. For athletes wanting to incorporate weightlifting into their training, power variation is going to be ideal with more carryover to their current training and sport. As a coach, learning the power variations and developing the pull technique is far more important for learning Olympic weightlifting than simply how deep you can squat in both lifts. Falling into a deep squat is something that happens over time. New people will often find squatting low very challenging. Many people get turned off by low squats because they feel they can't go as heavy. This is only the case if you squat high or not to the limit of your mobility and you aren't putting in the effort to go lower. If you miss a heavy snatch or heavy clean down the bottom because it's putting you in a position that you don't normally feel, then it's a good idea to look at your squat. If you struggle to get low in a squat or you just don't bounce out of it like you should, then you need to make the effort to work on those positions. For beginner weightlifters who struggle with squat mobility, try this. In your squat warm-ups, add a 3-second eccentric and a 2-second pause down the bottom. As you begin to build this exercise up, the tissues being loaded in this movement will strengthen and you'll be on your way to building a stronger and deeper squat. If you struggle to maintain an upright position, adding a heel to your squats will allow you to go deeper and load your quads, building a solid and upright squat. The sport of weightlifting takes time to learn and become proficient at. Today you may not be able to squat to full depth or translate your squatting strength and position directly into your Olympic lifts, but continuing to practice these movements will be key to your success in weightlifting. Remember, be patient. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and you learned something about squats or something you can implement into your own training. If you haven't already, check out my second channel where I post lots and lots of weightlifting breakdowns and technique tutorials. On this channel, I also have a few other videos talking about my own experience with training, and I hope to add more in the future. I'll see you guys in the next one.